Welcome to Melissa Chambers Consulting Wednesday Words of Wisdom. I hope everyone is doing good. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving spent with family and friends, and I hope that everyone is doing well. I know that sometimes when we, have holidays and we are, caring for or living with or have a loved one, family, or friend who is living with some sort of dementia diagnosis, sometimes the holidays can be maybe not what they used to be, or what we perceive as a little bit negative, or a letdown. Sometimes people have said to me, but I think it's again just important to know that the holidays are different. They're going to be different for a while, and just to try to roll with it. So I hope that for the most part, I hope that we were able to do that, and I hope that we had a good day. What I want to spend a minute talking about today is unpleasant thoughts, unpleasant people, unpleasant places, unpleasant things, unpleasant memories, unpleasant times in our lives. And the reason that I want to spend a few minutes talking about that today is because I had an unpleasant thought today that was brought into my mind by someone that I passed by. It was someone that brings upon unpleasant memories in my mind, and from long time ago. And I want to bring that to our attention for a very important reason. And that is because just like you and I, people living without some sort of dementia diagnosis can have, bad days or unpleasant memories or thoughts, or people, or times in our lives that we, aren't happy with, or things, mistakes or things that we wish wouldn't have happened. Just like we can be human and have those thoughts, so can our loved ones living with some sort of dementia diagnosis, okay? Just because they have this diagnosis or this disease does not mean that they are not human. They very much are human. Does not mean that they can't just be having a bad day for just the reason of having a bad day, just like we do. Doesn't mean that they can't see someone that they don't like, or smell a smell that they don't like, or that brings about an unpleasant time in their life from an unpleasant person or an unpleasant event. Sometimes trauma can do this to people. And this can be whether our loved one is living at home or whether they're living in a community like an assisted living or a nursing home. This could be whether they're on, have help coming in their home, or whether they're on hospice care, or, in-home health, or, whatever the situation. Someone could come through the door in their own home, and it could be someone that is trying to help them, but maybe they wear the same kind of cologne or same kind of perfume as someone from their past that could represent a trauma, or could represent someone that doesn't bring about a good memory for them. And, so on and so forth. That's a whole big, huge topic, but it is very important, especially when we are talking about the holidays. Sometimes family members can do this for whatever reason, for one reason or another. Sometimes, families, they're ours. We can't always pick them, but sometimes we're stuck with them. And, sometimes we might see extended family on the holidays, and maybe it's not really a pleasant memory. Maybe it's someone that we really would rather not see. And so if your loved one does get irritable, sad, very emotional, angry, very angry, agitated, any of those things, it could be because something like that is happening, and maybe they cannot express that to you in words. And so maybe it is coming out as a behavior. And it doesn't always have to be someone that you or they dislike. It could just be an unpleasant time, an unpleasant memory. Sometimes it could be something traumatic. It could be a trauma. It could be a place, like if someone went through a big major storm, like a hurricane or a tornado or something, and then that place is brought up, or that place is shown in the news, or they go back to that place. We go back to that place. That could be something very traumatic for us, and maybe we don't even realize it, consciously, but maybe subconsciously, it's just bringing back these emotions that, and we don't really know how to deal with them. And so just because someone has some sort of dementia diagnosis, just because they are living with dementia of some sort, does not mean that that is the reason for absolutely everything that happens. They also experience normal everyday things just like you and I do. And so it's very important to keep that in mind. And so, really quick, just to finish up, if your loved one is, exhibiting behaviors that are not their normal. So if they're super emotional one way or the other, angry, irritable, agitated, all the way to sad or crying all the time, or just down and out, or just very quiet, it could be that something is going on, and it could be that they can't put it into words, maybe physically because they can no longer talk anymore, or because maybe they themselves just don't know why they're feeling that way, and they can't put it into words because they don't know. But it could be something like that that's going on. So it's always good to keep in mind, if your loved one is exhibiting behaviors that are different, that are out of the ordinary for them, think of physical things first, like, are they cold? Are they hot? Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they in pain? Go through a physical sort of checklist of what could possibly be wrong. Do they have to go to the bathroom? Anything like that. And then move to emotional things. Things that are happening up in our mind, like something like that, like a trauma, like a person that brings back unpleasant memories or an unpleasant time. Anything like that. Think of things like that maybe they cannot communicate to us. So try to remember that if they are exhibiting these behaviors that are different than usual, different than their normal baseline, it could be that they have an emotional need that needs met, or a physical need that needs met. Okay? I hope that helps. I hope it wasn't too confusing. All of that came from one quick little thought today, right? So if you have any questions about anything, any concerns, anything at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. All of our contact information is up above. Call, text, email, reach out through the website, melissachambersconsulting.com. There is a contact page. You can reach us there too. All right? Thanks. Have a great night, a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.